Hi, I'm Jonathan Emmett. I'm a marine biologist pursuing my PhD working in the Gulf of Mannar region, which is in the southern part of India. My work involves the study of interaction on marine sponges on coral reefs. For the past decade, there have been tremendous effects happening to coral reefs, which is due to climate change. And because of the increase in temperature, oceans are getting warmer, and this has many repercussions. If you take coral polyps, they are like tiny jellyfish, and they have a close relationship with tiny microscopic algae, which is the color that we see, and this is also for their survival. Now, algae don't like extended periods of higher than usual temperature, just like many of us. So what happens is they leave. Now, the coral needs to fend for themselves for their food, and since they cannot sustain themselves, they slowly die. When they die, they leave behind the hard skeleton, which turns white because of the calcium. This causes an event known as coral bleaching, which results in a lot of ecosystem damage and change.
The Bible tells us in Genesis that God created the world. He created the vast blue ocean, the starry sky, the fertile land, the exquisite flora and fauna, man and woman. It's the grandeur of His creation that gives us a glimpse of God, the grand designer. And that's what the psalmist says, the heavens declare the glory of God and the sky proclaims His handiwork. The grandeur of creation is also a testimony of God's transcendent goodness, because whatever He created was very good. And that's what Genesis chapter 2 tells us. God saw everything that He had made and it was very good. Now, as a grand and good creator, God is also the owner of His creation. The psalmist tells us in chapter 95, the sea is His, for He made it, and His hands formed the dry land. God is the owner of His creation, but He's also a generous owner. He entrusts His creation to man, His image bearers and representatives, to be stewards and take care of it. God said in Genesis chapter 1, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the heaven and over every living thing that moves on the earth. God's mandate for mankind is not only be fruitful and multiply as families and communities, but also to subdue and have dominion over the earth, which means we are to take care of the earth, we are to take care of the oceans, we are to work at it and develop it. Albert Walters in Creation Regained writes, by being fruitful, they must fill it even more. By subduing it, they must form it even more. Unfortunately, we have failed. As Jonathan told us about the repercussions of climate change, we have failed within because of the condition of our hearts, and this has resulted in failing to be good stewards of what God has entrusted to us. But God, in His goodness, sent His Son Jesus to die on the cross. He died and rose again. He paid the price for the condition of our heart. He redeemed and restored us. And now it is we who need to take an active part in the process of restoring God's creation. It's our responsibility to take care of the earth and protect our oceans. So let's hear from Jonathan about how we can make a difference.
We may not be able to reverse climate change and save corals overnight, but we can make a difference in small ways. We can keep our beaches clean, because all of the trash ends up in the ocean. If you ever get a chance to go scuba diving and want to wear sunscreen, be mindful of the chemical components in them. Also, don't touch or collect things from the ocean. Instead, enjoy the wonders of God's creation under the sea. And make sure that you don't encourage the purchase of corals from gift shops. We get fish from reefs, therefore it's always good to eat seafood sustainably. Gain knowledge on the season of seafood, of when to eat and when not to. Some periods of the year are when a certain group of fish spawn. And when the juveniles are caught, that's one step towards the extinction of those species. Also, make sure you don't eat exotic seafood dishes as a status symbol. Shark fin soup, to name one. Most of these fishes are on the verge of extinction. God gave us the earth and all that's in it. It's our responsibility to take care of it.